Welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 39. One episode away from the big 4-0. That's where I'm gonna kill you. You guys will probably live through today, but that's only because I'm letting you guys stay in town. But
didn't you forget that episode 40 doesn't exist? 417 of Wayside School.
No. So the real question is though, how did you guys make it back to town? Last I remember, you guys were trapped in a Sphinx's tomb.
So we weren't so much trapped as we were waiting on the Sphinx to translate this book that we found under the earth. And Gulron was kind of like, he had been napping because he got munched on by a mimic. So Antaeus was, he found this hat in his book, and he tried to wear it, but it wouldn't fit him because he was too charismatic. It was also a fedora and extremely misogynistic. Ivy tried it, and it was like saying all this stuff, and pretty sure it told Ivy to go back to the kitchen or something.
I'm pretty sure
sandwich.
it insulted my intelligence.
It did. And let's see. So Ivy, since she has the arcane sight, decided to look at she wanted to look at the note again. But she was going to wait because the last time it had taken her over and she was like trying to open her great-grandfather's tomb. One of the days that we were there, Antaeus found a headband in the book, and it looked like that it would allow him to. It looked like it would allow him to borrow a skill. He did try on the headband, and he began to feel someone else's thoughts in his head. They said he was the Dark One and asked if he knew Niev. He is one of the many, and it says he can give him answers. It says he, other you, other us is looking for you. So he spends the next few days asking the questions, and he gets different people. It's kind of like a Magic 8-Ball or something, but with different people. And the limit is one question, and that's kind of it. So in the meantime, the Sphinx finished deciphering the book. Tells us Pyre is a dragon, and if we're seeing them, it was a breach of the truce. Each country has at least 5 dragons. The book does mention Pyre. Taking of the book, so basically when the other book, the one that Antaeus got the headband and hat out of, when that was taken, it violated the truce. We learned some more about red dragons, like their vulnerabilities, that kind of thing. It says this revision of the world has made them stronger. They're usually covetous, evil aligned. The book spoke of metallic ones, which are not part of the truce because they have nothing to protect, but they wanted their anonymity. The Dragonkin were basically offspring of dragons and humans, and they were that was how they were interacting with the world. They were technically not breaking the truce if they interacted with the world. We learned a little bit more. The book did say a little bit about the Phaean Empire. Ivy asked about the note, and the Sphinx said that her great-grandfather wanted to find missing pieces for a gathering. And then the Sphinx gave us some items from the treasure that she guards. And I got a charisma headband and a compass-like thing to help me detect evil within 60 yards. It was kind of like pointing towards Antaeus for some strange reason. I don't know why it would do that. And we also got some 2,000 platinum points, but they were or platinum pieces, but they were really old, and so she basically told us to be careful who we spent them with because it needs to be someone trustworthy. We don't want to tell people, oh hey, there's a tomb, if you go get the treasure, kill the Sphinx, get the treasure, that kind of thing.
So first thing I do is go bring it to some guy in town that I barely know.
Naturally. But anyway, so after that, we met back with the mage or whoever that was sent to get us, and we met up with Ninoslav and told him what we learned. Ninoslav shared, he basically like locked down the room and shared with us that our research indicates abyssal contamination happened when people came from RE4 and were being chased by a creature that they killed, and like the Fae were curious and brought it back, and it basically corrupted them. So, and then we ended up deciding the next thing that we're going to do is go to La Vie to hopefully, because the Sphinx had told us that we needed someone that had lost their sanity in order to like make contact with the Fae Empire or something like that. And so we're going to go try and find Elizabeth to hopefully help us gain entrance to the Fae Empire. We're going to travel by river to Silver Hope, and then we're going to make contact with the ministry there to travel the rest of the way. They're going to give us a cart, but we cannot tell anyone any of this. And we have a couple of days to rest up while preparations are made for our trip. Niev's going to throw another dinner party. Goran was getting permission to use Riversite. Ivy visited Zigmar's, and they were discussing Antaeus. She asked Zigmar's to basically watch her while she was going to look at the note, and then they decided to do it at the dinner party. And then Antaeus went and spoke with Amalgam, and yeah, he showed him the coin.
Okay. Good recap. So, presumably it is morning of the next day, since we're sort of near mid-endish of the last day. And yeah, what on the new day do the four of you want to get accomplished?
First off, I'm watering my armor that I potted when I got home. Just want to make that clear that I did that. And I'm probably going to prepare for like the dinner party, get like the ingredients I need, that kind of thing.
Okay. What is the theme of the dinner party?
It's going to be comfort food.
Okay.
I think I wanted to do some shopping, but I don't really know who is deemed trustworthy enough to spend this money with, so I'd probably...
You have your direct contacts from the ministry. The people that were approved before by the ministry.
Okay, we do have that, yeah. Okay, so then I would just like go to one of those people.
The key would be just not going up to some random person who runs a printing press shop and offering him one of the coins without properly vetting him beforehand.
Cool, okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna go to one of the ministry people, because I don't really know who else to go to, and I assume if it's ministry approved, it's probably fine.
Okay. And what are you looking to pick up?
I'm hoping I can find someone who has or can make Headband of Charisma, Cloak of Resistance, and I want to see if there's someone who can enhance the belt I already have. It's a con belt, but I want to see if there's someone who would be able to, over a course of the few days we have, maybe like enhance it with strength as well. So.
Yeah, these are all things that can be done. If you have a list of the stuff that you want, you can basically pay the difference. A lot of magical stuff is pretty highly accelerated in these parts. And if you're looking for like a big enough ticket item, and you have a smaller ticket item, many of them are actually willing to do like a direct trade. So if you have like a lower end strength belt, they're willing to like take one of their bigger ticket items and trade it for the equivalent value.
Yeah, so basically, like, I have a con +2 con belt, and I wanted to get the belt that's con and strength +2.
Yeah, so if you pay the difference between the two, you can do that as basically a direct trade.
Yeah, so
Well, not a direct trade, but you pay the difference between the two
pay the
items
difference.
without
I
having
getcha,
to take the 50%
I think it was the Belt of Con is basically 4,000. The Belt of Physical Might for +2 is 10,000. So I'd basically be paying 6,000 and trading my belt in for.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yeah, I will go and get those 3 items.
Cool. Yeah, if making such an extravagant purchase as well, what kind of Cloak of Resistance are you buying?
+2 is what I'm looking for.
And let me look at your inventory after that.
Yeah.
Because being a member of the ministry, most of these places aren't necessarily going to give you as big a discount. Remember, you do also still get a 10% discount on things. So make sure you're cutting that down as well.
Yeah, I will do that math.
But I think, let me double check something here. No, I need the other ones. What were those called?
So basically, my math for those 3 items before any discount, it's at 14,000.
That sounds about right. And then one of the things that so you can go ahead and take the 10% discount off of that. There's an extra item that they're going to add to this. I'm just trying to find the name of it real quick. There we go. So you do not have boot items. And one of the items, they changed this. Oh, this is like a cheap item I used to like put on all of my characters, but they've been nerfed slightly. That sucks. So I think then the other option would be these, right? No. Those are bad, right? Yeah. Well, they'll still throw these in anyway. They will throw in some feather step slippers. Feather step slippers give you 10 minutes of use of the feather step spell, which basically allows you to ignore difficult terrain and still be able to take 5 footsteps even in difficult terrain.
Cool. I will thank them for that and take it.
You're welcome. They will say, glad to have you doing business with them and not taking your money outside of the ministry approved places.
Could I find a ministry approved place to get a handy haversack?
Absolutely. What size haversack do you want?
Well, it's only got one size listed.
Oh, like the handy haversack. I'm sorry, I was thinking the
bag of holding.
Bag of holding. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely can. That is pretty much a standard issue thing. So you can actually find these for a little less than the industry pricing, or then for a little less than the books pricing and the regular discount. So these will actually be priced at around 1,500 gold.
Okay.
These are such a regularly assembled and enchanted item that like there's a lot of competition in the market for them. So people will do like little things with them, or like or just bring down the price to make it cheaper.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else got some things specifically they want to buy?
Yep. I don't know if Ryan, you want to go first, or I got a laundry list.
Go ahead.
What do you got?
So first of all, am I aware of how long we have before we're heading out? Is this known to us, or?
You guys have. I mean, there's not really a timer set per se. They want it to be within the next few days, so not too many days. But that may not matter because you have access to more money, and so you have access to people who can hasten the production of things.
Also, I think we all need to roll for HP, just a side note.
Oh, thank you. Actually, let's do that right now before we forget, because that actually came up in Mirashad. Whitney's character almost died because we didn't roll HP at the beginning of the session.
Whitney's not here at the moment, but I will roll my... Ha! Ooh.
Nice. Good job.
Max roll. Nice.
Oh. That's a keeper, Antaeus. Sorry.
Of course, he would.
We're rolling HP wit if you want to, whenever you want. For your level up. +2 for my...
Oh, at least you got a high con. Poor Antaeus.
Hey, it's a living.
At least you stand mostly back and throw bombs unless an assassin vine gets you.
Yeah, now I'll sleep ever again.
I'll just keep watch on you constantly.
It's alright, I'm at like 40 something, 44. It's about right.
You're about the same HP as me, so.
Alright, so you got your laundry list. Let's hear it. Let's go to Lavanderia.
Yeah. Have I read through my Krauskran book enough to know what his favored weapon would be?
Yes, Krauskran's favorite weapon is the Warhammer.
Ooh, convenient. I would like to find the Ministry-approved blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to commission, if possible, a +2 defending Warhammer.
Ooh.
And I would like it, obviously, to be as a memento to Krauskran as possible. I don't know if that would cost extra or what they could do to it.
If you are spending this kind of money, they will do special things without asking. Or they will do special things without having you pay extra.
So yeah, this is a total +3 weapon, I believe.
Yep. That
by
is...
raw, it's 18k, so I don't know if I get a discount or
anything. You do get a discount. You actually will get... in this case, let me check some things here. Yeah. More
What?
AC stacking. Just looking at how hard it's going to be to hit Ghoul Round now. That's all.
Things will still hit me, but I'll try.
So yeah, you will get the natural 10% off of it.
Okay.
That is an always off the top kind of deal. And let me look at your character sheet as well. Because that kind of money always, as a ministry person, always gets you an add-on. But I think you're like running short on slots here.
Yeah, the next thing on my laundry list, though, is I wanted to commission full plate to be sized for myself.
Okay.
So that would be probably the remainder of my money.
That will probably not get done before you leave.
But I would like to start the process, so they have to take the measurements or whatever. And...
Okay, so what they can... I think actually what they're going to throw on is one of these... In this real quick. Had some of this stuff ready, but I should have asked what you guys were going to buy. Planned a little bit more on this ahead of time, but whatever. You guys can sit and wait while I try to find the thing. Find the thing!
So I'm at 76 HP now.
Damn. How do I have so much more HP than you?
What's your hit dice?
D8.
I guess you rolled better than me. Oh, sure.
I guess. My con is probably a lot more than yours, I'm guessing.
What is it?
18.
Yeah, it's one more modifier up than me.
thought that was cheaper. Okay. That's annoying. Not going to be that. All right. Well, never mind that. What about the other thing? Let's see here. Nope. Nope. Right there. Right there. And this is it, right?
But they have no issues with the weapon. Like I can just have that.
Yeah, they will. They'll be able
nice.
to
Okay.
take care of the weapon for you in time. There is you have been speaking with the dwarven guy who is excited to build such a weapon for you, and is very proficient. He has some very interesting plans for it when you give him the details.
Excellent.
This is the other thing. I'm just trying to. No, that's the other way. So it's the other thing.
Defending is okay. It's a free action. Okay, good.
Okay, here is the thing. It is called the Pixis of Redirected Focus. That they are throwing in with your weapon. I threw it in the chat there.
What is this? Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm. Nice little useful item that they happen to have on hand. They know you're a cleric, and they know that at times you may not necessarily have the thing you want on hand, and this will give you a way to get the other thing when you need it.
Wow, yeah, this is super cool. I'll thank them a lot for this.
Ah, you've brought me this much money to produce this. The least I could do is pay you something back.
Hey, appreciate it.
Yeah, so, and then you can get fitted for your plate mail.
They want a down payment or anything?
No, they will not. You are a member of the ministry, so they will not require a down payment from you.
Okay.
And what about you, Antaeus? Got a list of stuff you want to buy?
No, I think most of my stuff I had already bought. I did want to get that journal I was showing you. I think it was like 600, or yeah, 600.
Hold on, let me go back to my chat with you.
The dream journal.
Yes. Yeah, you can pick that up as well. And actually, if you go in to talk to that cleric of Suinal, and you pick up that dream journal, they actually have something for you.
Oh.
I'm double checking to make sure that this is what I think it is. I've reread this like 3 or 4 times because it's it feels more complicated and I don't want to fuck it up. No, it's not as good as I thought. Okay, I found the part I was looking for. Never mind, they do not have this for you. Just be garbage.
Fair enough.
It's a 1500 GP single-use potion, but it isn't a potion. Like you basically cast a scroll into a bottle and then you can throw it like a noxious, like a vaporous potion.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's single-use, 1500 GP. So not very effective. So yeah, they will just have she'll have the book for you. Yeah, looks like a normal non-magical book.
Sounds good. And then I suppose I need to probably go visit Zigmar's and checking on business stuff.
Yeah. This is interesting. I need... So, when you head over to find him, he'll be hanging out in the usual spot. It's good to see you again.
Ah, yes. You too. So, I figure I should come in and check on business things, business arrangements, see how everything is going.
Excellent. We've got much of our work done. The office is in place. I've managed to start moving some goods, keeping things looking quite above board, as we're supposed to.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
I gotta get the Zigmar's voice in. There we go. There is a little bit of it.
Yes. Well, we'll probably be heading out again in a few days, as you may or may not know, but thought it'd be a good idea to bring it to your attention now. But we seem to be leaving the city quite a bit recently, and
so I've noticed.
I don't know. Yes, I don't know if you happen to know anybody that would be reliable to run things when we're not here.
Well, I feel I've basically been doing that. If you'd like, I can try to find somebody else.
Well, I mean, if you want to, I didn't want to put that burden on you as well, in addition to everything else that you've got going on.
Well, why don't we talk about what are your big plans? I don't really know what your big plans are. You tend to be mysterious.
That's not necessarily intentional. I guess you're probably the first person to ask in quite some time. But I guess ultimately, at the moment, one of the things that has been very much intriguing me has been this. You remember? Well, of course you remember Elizabeth. Do you remember? I don't know how well you know about these things, but the issues with the gremlins that she was.
Yes, I do remember. I think something was said about that.
Well, I don't know if you've maybe heard about that in passing from other places as well, but that's something I've been trying to find some time to dabble in a little bit. I don't quite know exactly where to begin with that, unfortunately. And then, of course, the business side of the alchemy stuff. I think that.
Really, you don't know how to get people to see the gremlins?
I don't know if that's necessarily what I want to do, but I don't want to cause people to see them. I want to understand more about them, though.
You can't understand something if you don't try to find it.
I haven't quite seen the gremlins yet, but I've definitely been experiencing a few things here and there that I'm sure are not unrelated to whatever the cause is those.
Zigmar's will unbutton his vest for a moment, and he will open it up. He'll turn it just slightly, and he'll reveal a small pocket with 3 vials. There are ways to see the gremlins. And he'll, like, button back up his vest. I'm surprised you haven't discovered it yet.
That's a permanent thing, though, isn't it?
In this case, no. I have a temporary way. I'd been sort of saving it for if things with Elizabeth had gone better. But I suppose that isn't likely to happen anymore.
Ah, speaking of which, I'm going to switch over to a goblin when I start talking to him. I apologize for not learning this sooner, but...
Ah, well done. Much more useful way to communicate.
Yes, I agree. Had other things that I had to learn, but I finally got around to this. But you said that's a temporary way to see them?
Yeah, it'll give you a few hours of it. But you have to take all three together. It's a very dangerous concoction in some ways. Some people have fully lost themselves in it.
A specific order as well, or?
No, not a specific order. Just make sure you take the three.
Interesting. Is there a reason that they're separated then?
Yes, when you blend them in anything other than your intestinal tract, they tend to have the effect tends to happen immediately, and then the substance quickly dilutes. Think of it like a solvent, you know, or not a solvent. What do they call those? I can't remember the name of it. But basically, when it becomes what it is once the things come into contact with each other within a certain amount of time. So if they're all blended together, it will render what it's going to do, and then over time it will become inert again. So you need to consume the three at the same time in order to have the effect reach your body by the time that process would occur.
And if you don't ingest them immediately, how quickly does that take to have effect?
It is very rapid. Within minutes, really. Seconds even, some have said.
Interesting. Very interesting. Are those three the only three you have?
Yeah, but it's not something that I can't get a hold of easy. In fact, you could probably reproduce them, I'd assume. It took me a bit to get access to them.
Yeah. It wouldn't hurt to have those in the off chance that perhaps we get caught in a sticky situation.
He'll reach in and he'll pull them out of his vest and hand them over to you. But before you grab them, he says, they're not without a price.
But of
I
course,
assume you're going to leave soon, right?
Yes.
Any chance you're heading to Megiddo?
Oh, yes, actually, I believe we might be heading through there.
Megiddo is basically the epicenter of everything that you want that you can't get underground. There's a bit of a list that I could use for you to pick up. Several of them are things you might find interesting yourself. If you could pick these things up, we'll call it an even arrangement. Make sure they get here without being seen.
Is there a specific contact I should be picking them up from, or?
You'll need to find them. That's the thing I don't know. I've been wanting these things for a little while to start pushing something in the sort of next tier for people that are interested in some things, and that's part of what led me to this.
Very interesting.
There's even one that if we can manage to get the right combination, is supposed to allow you to see an entirely different world.
That sounds terrifying and fascinating at the same time.
Well, two of the things on the list are components for it. If you ever get a chance to go deep below, perhaps the drow will let you get the final item.
Oh, the drow?
Yes. don't tell me you're one of those people that doesn't believe in the drow.
I'm assuming there aren't a lot of drow in Knightsbridge.
There are no drow in Knightsbridge. Drow are another one of those things that, like, you can decide whether or not you believe drow do or do not exist. A lot of people believe that, like, drow are, when something goes missing, the drow stole it. You know, if it's like some big enough thing and it's missing and you can never find it again, you blame the drow. It's just like a common euphemism. The drow must have stole it. Even though no one's ever really seen a drow, like the average person has never seen a drow in their entire life. They don't like roam around cities. They don't roam around anything on the surface level.
Might have to look into see if that relates to the theft thing at some point in the city. See if there are any drow in that group. But I totally believe that drow exist. But never met one, at least not here, and at least not that I'm aware of. That'll be interesting.
Well, if you're ever down there, you can get me the last ingredient. It's hard, though. Finding a drow to trade with up here is getting harder and harder.
Is there a reason for that, or is it just...
I assume a lot of crackdowns. They've been... I don't know if you've noticed or not. Elizabeth was one in a bit of a regime change. A lot more guards, a lot more knights have been being hired on. As if they're working to deal with some kind of major change that they want established. My theory is eventually they want to take over Eastbridge and make it their own.
That's interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point. They've been trying to push us out for a while. The cost gets higher and higher. The ability to move about the area without being harassed by guards seems to be getting harder and harder. And my basically legitimate business has been harassed more and more and more every day.
You said they were trying to move into Eastbridge, allegedly, potentially.
There's a lot more guards here than there have been, and a lot of them taking interest in houses that are held by older people or people with problematic conditions. In fact, one example is a particular person you might remember. You helped him and his daughter.
Oh, Nico?
Yeah, the guards have been on his case for some time. They've been trying to get his daughter classified as a societal threat. And he's been basically trying to make sure that doesn't happen. I've been doing what I can to help him where I can, but it's not gonna stick for too long.
Perhaps I should pay him a visit before we leave the city next.
Well, remember, he works during the day, so...
Yes, that's true.
Dinner party.
Want me to invite him to the dinner party? Oh, you wouldn't even know him. Actually, the only person here that would know him is Gulron. Yes, perhaps I'll go speak with him. But you said it's like late midday-ish?
Yeah, it's like midday by about this point.
Okay. Perhaps I'll go speak with him and see if, at the very least, I can set up a time to talk with him in more detail about this.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
You'll have to wait till early evening to do that, but you can do so. What about the rest of you? Besides the buying of stuff, is there anything else that any of the rest of you wanted to do or anyone else that you wanted to meet with?
I'm also picking up just a few things that, like, we would probably need, like, on our trip, like rations and stuff. So I didn't feel the need to roleplay that out, but I am picking that up. But I think Niev's mostly just focused on making the food and probably making more because she knows that, you know, probably at the very least Zigmar's will probably be there because he seems to just turn up. But I had nothing else specific I wanted to do.
Okay.
Oh, before I finish with Zigmar's, I wanted to ask him if Tehran had returned at all, or if he's still gone.
Tehran is still gone.
Okay.
You look like you had something you were going to say, John?
Yeah, I was letting everyone go first. But I have here, I wanted to communicate with the overseer in Broholm, whatever.
Borgholm?
Borgholm, yeah. And I wanted to make a point that I'm trying to track, because I was told to talk to the Sphinx within 10 days. So I believe it's the 9th day. So I'm just making a point, like, if we skip over time, like, please, someone remind me, or Gulran is remembering the 10th day he needs to talk to the Sphinx.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to just touch base with the overseer.
Yeah.
But I have to wait for the 3rd sun's peak, so I will do that. If I've already missed it today, I'll do it another
Nope,
day.
You're fine. You can do that. That'll be basically right before Antaeus would have his meeting with Nico.
Do you want my sending in the chat?
I do indeed want your sending in the chat.
Well, that's perfect, because I also need to speak to the Sphinx about that item I left with them if they have had time to look at it.
And yeah, so like when in part of the tracking of the 10 days for the Sphinx, I would talk to you guys about that. So if there's something you want me to tell her, you let me know and I can do that when I communicate with her.
Yeah, I mean, it's only been 1 day so far, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying because Ryan said he said something you want to ask her or something. So unless you have your own sending, I don't know if you do.
No, I also don't. I don't remember if she said she was going to reach out to us or not. So I just.
No, I'm supposed to reach out to her.
Okay.
In time, you'll get back, Gulran. In time, we will contact you. Thank you for the update. Please be sure to bring back the book sometime soon.
Oh, okay. I will note that. During our days off, I'll mention this to Antaeus that they do intend to get that book back, just so he's aware.
Okay. And Antaeus, you can head over to Nikolai's home. Or Nico's home, not Nikolai's home. That's a totally different place.
Yeah, that's not till Sunday. But yeah, I'll head over there and check in on him.
You can knock at the door, and he will greet you. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has. I apologize for not checking in with you sooner, but we've been gone for quite a while as well.
I've been busy also. Work never ends.
Unfortunately. Yes, I figured I would come by, check how things are. I've heard that the Knights have been causing a little bit of trouble for you.
Little is an understatement. It's hard to keep things going. Your friend Zigmar's has been helping out a bit. I think he feels somewhat sorry for me, and I think that it's not going to end well. It's not.
You mind if I ask what you're speaking about? I'm assuming we've gone inside at this point, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
The money I've had to change what I'm going to do with it. I'm gonna try to get us on a train. He means train is in like a caravan of people traveling out to Emerald Serenity and see if I can make a new start there among the farmers. I can't keep doing this. My daughter is not a danger to any of these people, but no one cares, and I won't let him take her away. They want to send her to Levi. They want to lock her up.
Yes, not a great idea from my understanding, my limited knowledge of Levi. Have there been any changes since the last time I've been here?
I mean, got a raptor busting into your house or what?
No, that's my brother sneezing 2 rooms over.
Jesus.
Yeah, right.
Her condition's not getting better. At first, I thought that some of the things she said were cute kid things. But now her toys are having active conversations with her. And some of them are not the kind of thing that a child her age should be interested in. Like sacrificing other toys.
Interesting.
I've been blaming the witches, but lots of people have been blaming the witches for a lot of things, and so the guards are less willing to listen. I think since they've shown up, it's gotten worse. I think there's a distinct pattern there as well. But who am I?
Is she here at the moment?
She's in her room.
How much money did you need?
I'm closing in on what I need. A few more weeks and I'll be on my way.
How much is that?
About another 20 gold.
I will, I'll hand him 20 platinum.
Oh, I can't accept this.
I wouldn't want anything to get worse for her. And it sounds like if she's here, things are getting worse for her. But, and I don't want to think this way, but if she isn't a threat, and they do something that causes her to become a threat, I would hate to see that for her or you.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'll make arrangements and I'll get moving the next day or so.
Thank you. If you have a way to stay in contact with Zigmars, any updates would be appreciated. I'd like to...
I could send letters from time to time, but they're
That'd be perfect.
going to take some time.
Of course. Hopefully being away from the city would be better for whatever's going on with her.
I think the fresh air of sincerity will really do the trick.
And being further away from the blight might also be a benefit. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I'm sure it isn't helpful.
It is not.
Do you mind if I speak with her before I leave, or?
Yeah. He'll call for her and she'll come out. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You're the Dark Man.
The Dark who?
The Dark Man.
Oh.
Can't
Have
you
you been
see?
speaking?
You can't
See
see
what?
your darkness, can you?
No.
Daddy, look. Look, he doesn't have a shadow.
Actually, I'll check and see if she has one when she's pointing that out.
She does have a shadow, but her shadow... Give me a perception, actually, before I unveil this.
Her
Should
shadow
at least give me some
doesn't
kind of
look
check
like
here.
her shadow.
It does not look like her shadow. Because you have the no shadow thing, right? I'm remembering your character correctly?
Yes.
Her shadow looks like it does not have the same body shape. It's still a female form, but it looks like an adult female form and not a child's female form.
Do I know enough about that to know that that is also a side effect of whatever this is, or I don't know if I've ever seen this before aside from...
No,
Okay.
you're still very new into this whole phenomenon.
Hmm. Yes, it looks like you might have taken my shadow.
This is my shadow, silly. It's Mommy's shadow. I got it because Mommy died.
Oh? I'll look at Nico when she says that.
He just kind of nods. There's some things I can't explain, and I mean, it sort of makes sense. Magic does weird things.
Does that sound like a para-arcana thing?
Yeah.
All right.
You started putting ranks in it?
Oh, I've had ranks in
Okay.
it, but yes, I have more ranks in it. I've been putting ranks in that and law when I've been leveling up.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a Para-Arcana check.
Alright, I got this potion I want to drink before I do that, so I'll go ahead and roll that, and then...
That's
perfect.
Fine. A 30's still very good. Thankfully, you rolled high innately.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is a concept in this sort of in the realm that kind of blends the arcane world with the material world. The idea, and a bit of the divine world, the idea that a soul can so powerfully want not to pass on that it can attach itself to something. And normally this phenomenon is extremely common with like shared pieces of magical items. You often find that like a soul will be so attached to a person that like some mutually shared arcane object that passed between the two of them, or that maybe meant a lot in their relationship, is something they become so strongly attached to that after they die, their soul refuses to leave that object and becomes bonded with it. However, as many people who have like started digging into some of the more abstract ways that life doesn't want to separate, it's been found that you can bond with things beyond that. People that have sort of an innate arcane spark are bondable as well, as if they were objects. You would know this to mean that she likely has some sort of internal magical energy, and you would bet that she probably has some sort of being outside that is talking to her. If you were to assign a class to her, you would see the beginnings of somebody in the interim stages of becoming a witch.
Interesting.
And whether or not the patron is her mother may or may not be true. But if her mother died due to para-arcanal complications, then she may be seeing her mother, and she may in fact be attached to her mother, the thing controlling the idea of her mother may not be her mother.
Sounds like some more fan bullshit.
No, this is non-fan, thankfully.
Ah, good. They're not infiltrating the city yet. Would I have any idea of what kind of things could have that influence?
This is where you'll need to give me a knowledge, the planes.
Didn't go through.
Need to get you what I need to find.
Click it again.
Thank you. With that, hang on one sec. I gotta find the I'm looking for. With a 23, there's some things you know that you can sort of count out in terms of what the influences are. Like, you know, it's definitely not some of the greater evils that are kind of contributing this. Like, there's definitely no demons, devils, etc. that are probably influencing this. You can definitely rule out Fey. It's definitely not Feyan in nature. This seems like something that's been sort of a loose theory, maybe, that this is from a different kind of plane. A plane that you can't travel to, a plane that allegedly doesn't exist, and a plane that many people say is like sort of the plane of insanity. It's believed to have been forged a long time ago, when chaos was first bound. The creatures of chaos kind of tried to forge a place for themselves once they were freed, by finding a way to sort of split themselves between the existing ethereal and material planes. But that doesn't seem possible. But from a para-arcanal standpoint, with your knowledge of it, it's one of those things that as people start to gain knowledge of para-arcanal activity, it's something that becomes like much more likely to find belief in. But that's all you would get with the 23.
Interesting. Well. I'm assuming that I kind of like space out for a few minutes after I was in the middle of talking to her.
Hello, Dark Man?
Oh. Yes. When you say Dark Man, where did you hear that?
You have the darkness all around you.
You're able to see that?
Yeah. Can't you?
I'm assuming I've never seen that, correct?
No.
No, I'm not able to see that, no.
I'm sorry, Dark Man. That must be sad. You don't know you're bad? Nico is just like looking at you and then looking at her, and I don't know what she's talking about. I'm sorry. I don't... Daddy, it's okay. Not every Dark Man is bad.
This isn't the first time I've heard that.
It's like his shadow is on his shoulders and not on his body and not on his feet.
You seem to know a lot about this.
Yeah, the toys. We talk about it all the time. And Mommy, of course.
The toys, yes. Many of them talk, or is it specific ones?
Yeah.
Or
we have all kinds of talks. Mommy's been helping me make them better.
Interesting. Do you have them? Can I see them?
They don't want to be seen.
Oh?
They'll let Daddy see them, but no one else. Mommy says the magic goes away if other people see them.
I see. That doesn't happen to sound like anything that I've ever heard of, does it?
I don't know. Give me another Para-Arcana check. So, no, it's hard to tell here whether or not this is like the mind of a child making things up, or something related to this, but nothing that you've ever heard of is like animating toys and when somebody not approved looks at them, making all the magic go away. That magic is either there or not there. It can't really be like, it can't be dismissed without something physically happening to dismiss it.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that they could do that.
Toys can do anything. They're like little bits of magic.
I suppose so. Does your mom have a name?
Yeah, silly.
I've never met her. I'm not familiar with her name. I'm sorry.
Her name is in my other notes.
Oh, good. Well, while you're doing that, I'll look at my notes real quick.
I
In
can't.
my other notes. That's a mouthful.
I literally cannot find. This is one of the notes that I was really annoyed has gone missing. There are notes about the whole second story that are missing. Because I had to take it down when it got asked in another session. That's gone. I'll find it at some point. But yeah, you can get her name. We'll just, for right now, we'll fill in a name.
Okay,
Aaron.
that's fine.
No, it's not Aaron. Give me 1 sec. I'll give you a name here. But I had something more specific originally. Oops, hold on. I did not specify gender in the name generator. So it's like, these are all dude names.
That might be
Miriel.
and that's M.
I will drop it in the chat.
Okay.
We'll make a new note here.
Oh.
I don't need a tutorial. I already know how to use Evernote. Why are you doing this to me?
Well, it's nice to finally meet her, sort of.
Silly, you can't meet her.
Well, I know, but I mean, sort of, kind of, through you.
I guess.
Well,
Just remember, Dark One, don't be too bad. You don't have to be.
Okay. I will take that into consideration. I'm not entirely sure what you mean, but I appreciate that.
Thanks.
You're a smart little girl, you know that?
I try.
Well, make sure to take care of your dad, and
I will. I won't let anything bad happen to my dad.
that's good. I'll try to keep in contact a little more than I have been, make sure everything's alright.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate it.
No problem. If I find out anything, I'm assuming she's going back to her room, or when she goes back to her room. If I find out anything more, I'll let you know as much as I can to at least help you with whatever you can do. But
Thank you.
and you said you were going out east or west?
As far east as we can go.
Okay. Alright, well, I suppose I should probably head out, but we'll be heading out in a few days again, of course. You know, that work thing. If you leave before then, just let me know, and I'll if not, I'll stop by before I leave just to check in.
Alright. Thank you.
No problem. And I'll bid him adieu.
All right. So this evening is the dinner party, correct? All right. So
Yes.
why don't we take a short break? And when we come back, we'll see how dinner party 3 goes. See you shortly. We're back. Party has dinner plans. So the real question that comes is Zigmar's arriving on his own? It seems like probably. I don't think anybody said their plans were to go pick him up. I know that Antaeus talked to him for a little bit, but Ivy was kind of on a shopping spree.
I mean, I was only shopping for like the first half of the day, so I could have gone over there the latter half beforehand.
Either way is fine. Just trying to see whether or not Zigmar should be late on his own or late with somebody else.
I mean, I don't want to be late though, so.
Now, Zigmar's is always late.
Fashionably late.
It's his policy.
Because I usually get there early to help Niev. I'd feel bad if I wasn't there helping.
Well, then be there helping.
Yeah, I'll probably be there helping, because that's what I do. I don't want to plan things, but I'll walk around and you tell me what to do. Okay, I'll go do it.
Gul'ran is probably then second to arrive. I don't know which would be sooner, Gul'ran or Antaeus. I know normally Antaeus is like waylaid by Zigmar's, but this time that's not getting in the way.
And who's bringing the large steak for Hunter?
Gul'ran usually picks up the meat for Hunter.
Oh, when did this start happening?
I mean,
Are we
I've done
rewriting
it.
history now?
Wait, no, didn't I buy it last time? You told.
Antaeus bought it the first
Oh, right, I
time.
took credit
Yeah.
for
And
it.
then
Yeah,
Gul'ran
you said
decided to take
usually.
credit for it, so then the second time he went and got another one to bring.
Right.
So,
So I
Yeah.
had bought it before. That's what I was
yes,
remembering.
you bought it the
Colonization
second
shit is
time.
this?
But the first time it was Antaeus, you just took credit for it. So I think Gul'ran was just like, oh, is this what we're supposed to do? Okay, I'll adopt this now. Now it's my thing. Sorry, Antaeus. If this was your thing, it's not anymore.
Yeah.
So I just have some meat wrapped up for Hunter.
Okay. Yeah, Hunter will be excited to see you again, as it's meat day. With all the other smells, it kind of recognizes that immediately. What is
I
this
would've probably
D100 roll?
That was me trying to figure out whether or not I'd be too distracted doing other things to remember to get meat this time.
Okay.
And I would have forgotten then.
Okay. Yeah, so you'll arrive probably late then, would make sense. You'll probably be a little before Zigmar's will get there.
Yeah.
But I want to hear some introductions. So, Gul'ran, you hit the door first. It's not a dinner party if there aren't introductions.
Introductions. Everyone knows who I am, though, right?
I know. Why do we need to?
You have to be
introduce people?
welcomed into the home. You guys are
Alright.
like vampires.
Are we? I was gonna say, are we vampires all of a sudden? Because I'm down with this campaign if we're vampires. Like,
You want to be a
My thing
vampire,
is-
you find a
Real
vampire
fast.
and get bit. I gave you an opportunity to become a vampire, and you rejected it
what?
and killed a bunch of them.
you know what? I'm sorry. The character would have not been okay with becoming a vampire. As much as I wanted to be a vampire, the character did not. And it
Once
Yeah,
the
Cassius-
character became a vampire, it would have been perfectly happy being a vampire.
I
Yeah,
know,
Cassius
but
thought
I
they were
would have
cool
been
people.
accused so hard of metagaming if I let her become a vampire in that encounter, okay? Everyone would have been like, what? You just wanted to become a vampire? Like, maybe?
Cassius didn't just think they were cool people, he thought they were the coolest people.
They were
Yeah.
the coolest
Is anybody home in this place? Hello.
I answer the door. I'm sorry, did you want me to burn your food?
No. I thought Ivy was helping you.
Hunter
She
starts
is help-
sniffing you up and down.
I brought something for Hunter again.
Oh, perfect. Here, Hunter, have some food.
I'm curious. So, what is cooking? Would that technically be like profession?
It is a profession. There is some intellect that goes into recipe making, but it is a profession skill.
I
It is
just
a
wanted to
wisdom-based
know
thing to cook.
how terrible I would be at helping Yev. And probably pretty terrible. I mean, if we go off profession, I have a -2 since don't have a rank in it, and I have a -2 to everything I don't have a rank in. And then any of the intellect part, there's just a straight up -2 because my intelligence is so bad. So poor Niev is probably like, yeah, she's helping. Sure, let's call it that.
Well, what does Niev's wisdom score look like as well?
Okay, so Niev's wisdom is just a straight up 10.
Okay. So for the most part, making a recipe, following a recipe is like something you can do if you take 10, as long as the recipes aren't complicated. It's as recipes become more complicated, or as you're trying to recall recipes, or as you're trying to get creative with recipes, that it gets interesting. Because being like a master chef is one of those things that requires a little bit of all three of the mental skills. It's a very much so like charisma, or very much so intellect game combined with a lot of like wisdom and understanding like how foods go together and how certain things go together. Memorizing recipes and knowing like kind of how to make one thing flow with another is a bit of like its own sort of science or alchemy. But plating is 100% charisma. It is an art form in and of itself.
Never mind. You're charismatic. You wouldn't need help with that. I was gonna be like, I can help with that part. Wait, you don't need it.
So
Never
the
mind.
way I feel like
forget.
this is you guys are making some of the most basic level of entrees possible, but the plating is so
It's
immaculate
just gorgeous.
that it
Everyone
looks
thinks
awesome.
it's better than it is because it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, and the theme is comfort food, so this is going to be like really simple, like stuff, basically.
Well, what I think is
Mashed
interesting,
potatoes.
the first one you did Indian food, right? And Indian food is one of
Yeah.
those things that because most people have not tried Indian food or don't know what good Indian food tastes like, you can get away with just saying like, oh, it's because you just you don't understand the culture of the food, and that's why like
Yeah.
it tastes funny to you. I forget what the second one was, but I know it was also
It was Italian.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
So
I was pretty sure
again,
it was
still
Italian
more
food.
traditional. You can get away. There's a lot of room for making mistakes as long as you're not trying to do a whole like thing from full scratch. So a lot of these can be kind of take 10 throughout things. You probably do feel like at times though Ivy is more frustrating in the kitchen than helpful. Ivy is probably, because Ivy, you're also like low-ish wisdom, not.
Yeah, just 10 wisdom, but then I have my 7 int.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so a lot of times like Ivy will get easily distracted by something else. Like he'll be working on.
I feel like Niev just like at some point probably pushes me out of the kitchen and is like, "Go set the table."
I'd probably tell her like basic things like, "Hey, can you stir this while I go
But
do?"
the thing is, what you'll find is like she's stirring the pot, right? And then she gets distracted as you're like working on something else, or she'll like start talking to you about something, and you'll realize like she's moved the ladle up or the spoon up too high, and she's no longer actually stirring the pot anymore. And you'll have to remind her like, no, down. Like you'll reach over periodically and like push back down the spoon. Because that's sort of how your drawback works. Like a lot of the things that aren't what you're focused on in terms of skills, you just kind of like zone out of when it comes down to time for that. Like when somebody's trying to teach you about religion and you're just
Or
running
rocks.
around erasing eyeballs off the board.
I'm like, "Oh, there's eyes? Erase this. Wait, what did he say? I don't care. Erase this. I feel like I'm kind of like a cat.
So
Back to Ghoulron showing up.
yeah. So
Yes. Are there
anyway,
any appetizers ready? Could I just munch on something? I'm starving.
we have some trail mix here if you want.
Sure.
I will bring out some trail mix, and we also have stuffed mushrooms, like bread stuffed mushrooms.
Sweet.
Probably a little after that Antaeus shows up.
Hello, Antaeus.
Oh, hello. Yes, hi. Sorry, I'm a little late.
Oh, no worries. I just hope that Goron saved you some appetizer.
There's lots here.
Yeah, there should be food left because Moirin's not here, right?
Yes.
Damn.
Ah, perfect. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Food should be ready shortly.
A few minutes later.
I will answer the door.
All right, go on. We'll be silently munching food for a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
My favorite party people. How is everyone?
Oh, Zigmars.
Hello. I
Come on
brought
in.
gifts. And he will reach into a pocket and he will draw a bottle of wine.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. He'll come in, he'll set it down. But when he takes a smell of the air, this is likely not the appropriate wine, though. The good news is, I always carry a little of this, and he'll reach into another pocket and pull out a flask of whiskey. This is probably more appropriate.
Yes, it's a comfort food night.
It smells it.
I hope that's a compliment, but all right, thank you. Come on in.
He'll come in, he'll take a seat. So what's on the agenda to talk about today? Normally you guys call these things, right? Because you have some kind of big topic you want to talk about. Last time I think it was the that old priestly man was like, I guess Gul'ran left or something, right? Gul'ran.
Oh yeah, Gul'ran switched religions.
Well, he
Deities
switched
or-
deities, yeah.
I don't know how that all works. I
I don't really understand it myself either.
don't get it. Is the deity mad that you changed deities? I don't
think Shashat's like the kind to get mad.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yes,
tune it all out, so.
yes, I assume you'd have to be there to be mad, and she doesn't seem to be around here very often.
Why would you worship a deity who's not around?
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily her fault or not, or if it's more a byproduct of Sierra Savant itself.
The
But
gods just aren't really around much anyway.
yes,
don't
most
really
of them are not.
Do their thing unless they need to do their thing, I've always assumed.
That's why I worship nature. It's all around us.
Ah, yeah, nature. It's definitely becoming pretty rapidly all around us, I'd say.
Can you worship magic? Would that be worshiping myself? Can I just worship myself? Is that a
I
thing?
think that's sacrilegious.
You technically can worship yourself. I worship myself regularly. Oh, wait. I don't think that's appropriate in this kind of company.
I suppose it depends on whether or not you do it in a temple.
I mean, Ivy, if you want to establish the Church of Ivy, we know the steps, and I'm pretty sure that you can get the Lars guys to sign on.
Lars guys are little bitches. I don't want their signatures.
Why were you in
Alright,
their
then.
temple? What a terrible place.
Yeah, I had to beat one up, and then they wanted me to kill him. It was weird. And
Yeah, it's kind of their
barbaric
thing.
and-
Did you
Well-
kill him?
No.
Oh, good.
No,
they,
but-
they immediately accept you into the temple if you do.
Ugh. God. Good. Glad I didn't kill him. Gross. I don't
Yeah,
wanna
one
be
of my
part
guys
them.
found that out the hard way, and then he had to like back
Ugh.
out of the temple, and it's like a whole ordeal.
I just did it to save Gul'ran's ass because they were gonna kill him because he failed or whatever he wants to call it.
Yeah, Goron's trying to get their signature so he can start a church to his new deity, and in order to do that, he had to fight one of their guys.
Where do you even get this deity from?
Oh, it's from like the dwarves in the like tunnel area. They worship
Down below,
Kraskaran.
There's
Yeah,
lots of rocks. Don't
earthen.
Well,
Don't
Belhorn, I
go
believe
there.
it
Don't go
is.
there. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't talk about the rocks.
Rocks.
No.
She's a
shh,
geology
shh,
enthusiast.
shh. No, don't. Remember, we don't talk
Oh,
about the rocks.
have you found any new rocks to study on Teus?
No, I haven't found any new rocks.
I mean, you
to
found
bother
some
Ivy
new
about.
rocks to study. It's just they come in a very fine form, and you keep them in a vial. Well, some of them are rocks, some of them are fluids. You know,
Oh, you're talking about those.
yeah.
The drugs. Do you have more drugs? You're studying more drugs.
Well, yes, but this is something that I was not as familiar with. These are ones that induce the gremlins.
The gremlins.
Oh, those things that Elizabeth used to see.
Yes, and likely still does. It probably more so now than ever, I'm assuming. But yes, those. But it should be temporary. It should give me an understanding of how that works to some degree.
Should be.
Well, I'm not entirely sure. I gave them to him. We made a bit of an exchange. I was planning on testing that myself. I wanted to... Well, back when Elizabeth was here, I had some interest in her, and I thought maybe at some point I could try to see what she sees, and maybe that would, if I could see through her eyes, maybe she could see through mine.
Yes.
Fortunately, it never really panned out, and well, these were very expensive, so...
Probably for the best for you.
No,
well, in that
it's-
sense.
I've experienced a large number of things, and I think that this is yet another one that I would very much so have liked to have taken a look at, but I don't really feel as comfortable with it if I don't know what I'm looking for.
That's a very, very good mind to have about it.
Do you
You
like
can get-
having new experiences, Zigmars?
I am quite a fan, yeah. I think that if we don't try to experience and try all sorts of new things, what's the point in living? There's so much here to experience and enjoy. You gotta try something new here and there.
That
Out
sounds
of character, I'm like, are you a mistress worshiper?
The
In
mistress
character,
hasn't
I have
made it
no
over
yet.
idea what that is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would
okay.
Niev know? Because there were mistress
Yeah, you're
followers.
familiar with the mistress. The mistress is like
familiar.
a well-known thing.
So I would say, oh, so do you follow the mistress then?
The who?
The mistress. She's new. She is kind of taking over for Sascha right now.
God, more God stuff.
She's all about having new experiences.
I mean, sounds like the right kind of religion, in my opinion.
Yeah, there were quite a few that followed her where I'm from.
So, like Athier, but more open to things.
Yes. Well, this guy that I knew, Trent, he sometimes would like have these experience, like they had temples, and then he would have these experiences in the temples.
what?
What
Like
kind
he-
of experiences?
You just tell him what you want to experience, and you can go experience it. I don't follow her, so I don't know for sure how it works, but it was just like you could tell them what you wanted to experience, and then you would go experience.
You mean sort of like when I... this is not the right place to have conversations of this nature. I'll just refrain from that.
But, I'm sure that if you called out to the mistress, she's been known to speak to people.
Yes.
Perhaps she could help you have new experiences.
I'm pretty sure I know at least one person she's spoken to before.
But
Abby,
anyway,
you seem to be enthralled by this.
Hmm?
I think
What?
her eyes glazed over when we started talking deities.
Don't fall asleep now.
At this, I guess Nia would go check on the food, make sure it's ready.
Yep, dinner should be about ready. You can collect the things, bring them out to the table.
I've got potato skins, macaroni and cheese, spinach dip with like bread to dip it with.
I was confused for a second. I was like, spinach is not. Oh, spinach. Okay, go on. Go on.
Yeah. And red beans and rice.
Oh, damn it. You're not supposed to stretch and break things.
Steve
Oh,
needs to
and
do
cornbread.
yoga.
I've been trying to start, actually.
But you're not supposed to stretch and like pop things.
No.
Like when I do like stretch like this, when my back actually starts hurting, my clavicle pops like most of the time I do it. It feels weird.
Mine's always like the ribs here.
Ah, that sounds uncomfortable.
It's really uncomfortable, and I can feel it for like 5 or 10 minutes afterwards. Anyway. So, from what I know of, the 4 of you are gonna head out soon?
That's what
Yep.
they tell us.
And I heard you're going to be passing through Megiddo. Is that true?
Now, where's Megiddo?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that we
That's
have
on
to.
our path.
Yes, I think we have to double back through Megiddo.
It's a real strict place there. I should probably give you a heads up. They are. It's a trade epicenter. There's a lot of trade that goes on there, and they're going to ask a lot of questions, and they're going to expect a lot of answers, and they're going to probably try to push you through to not stick around for too long. But while you're there, something that I would definitely say that if you're there and are interested in, they have some of the finest wines and whiskeys you can find.
Ooh. That sounds good.
Never know when you need it.
Do you want us to pick you up any?
Oh, I'm good there. Antaeus is taking care of some things that I'll need him to pick up. He's kind of my grocery boy now.
Almost like an instant cart full of things.
Yes, I'm sure there's a better title than that. It seems a little demeaning, but yes.
Well,
to
that
some
was part of
degree.
the point behind the joke, Antaeus. God, we've got to work on your ability to receive jokes.
Ha ha ha!
How about personal shopper?
Sure.
Secret shopper, even.
I mean, I think the more accurate term, we could just say drug bitch.
That's a little crude.
Yeah, but it's more fun.
Are you sending him to pick up drugs?
I
I'm
never
just
said anything
assuming.
about drugs.
That's just
Oh.
my assumption.
There's components. That's what we need.
Oh man, I knew this guy at university that really loved spell components. He was like really into them.
That sounds lame.
Yeah, sounds really lame.
I don't know. The spell component club is I think it got shut down.
What is this
once.
nerdy ass
A
place you
club?
come from?
Well, I mean, theoretically, you can alter spell components for certain spells and change the outcomes of them to some degree, at least. I haven't done much of that, but
Can't
I
we
don't
just
a lot of spell
use
components.
spells for what they're best for, like combat?
I mean, how
and
do you
shit?
how do you think that people figured out like what components to use for what spells? Everybody has trial and error until they figure out how to do something.
Yes, so let's make a club for it.
Sigmar's laughs.
Anyway, I came from a school, so you know there's learning and things.
What
Yes,
other
that's
losers
the
were at
place
this
with the
school,
books,
though?
Ivy.
Seriously.
I
Look here,
mean,
any proper school should be full of teaching you how to do what you need to do, not reading damn books.
Well, books can teach you some of the things you need to know how to do. Can't make drugs without books. I mean, if you wanted to make drugs, that is, of course.
anyway,
And there's a lot of plenty of books. Like there's like fiction, you know, like poetry books. You're not a fan of poetry?
I wouldn't peg you as being a fan of poetry.
Not particularly. I don't really keep up much with it, but every once in a while. I remember there being one like, was it like the Carmel Suitor or something like that? I don't know. I didn't read too much beyond it because it got a little explicit.
well, I've never seen a book like that, but we did have a very large library, and you could find all kinds of things there.
I suppose you and your crew spent a lot of time in it?
Somewhat, when we needed to research things.
Was that where all the cool kids stayed?
Actually, there was this one guy that was kind of like the guy that you talked to. He kind of had his hand in everything. He knew like what
Bet he
was going
did.
on. Anyway, so yeah, I know that one of my companion party members, Trent, was trying to get in good with him.
This is that guy that was following the mistress, right?
Yes.
So why do you want to get close to this nerdy guy? I mean, does the guy
The
have
guy wasn't
access-
nerdy. He was the cool guy. Like, he was the one that knew where all
What
the parties
school are you
were.
going? Listen, okay, I've spent a lot of time trying to make intellect into something that people respect. No one still ever referred to me as the cool guy.
Well, this guy was the cool guy. He knew where all the parties were. He had the connections. I don't know a whole lot about him because he was more Trent's associate than mine, but he was the guy you talked to get things done.
This sounds like a backwards
Kind of like
place.
you, Zigmars.
Yeah, but
Sounds like
again,
what?
I'm not. No one has established me as cool. They just know that I get things done.
Well, I would say popularity was in terms of, parties and who you know. I don't know. Do you guys have school here? There's
have
usually like a
schools.
social hierarchy.
Yeah, of
Ghoul
course.
Run coughs up. The food was delicious. But if you want to get something done, you get hold of Ghoul Run. I don't know. I get things done.
Eating?
You've been in a near food coma for the last 5 minutes.
The food was delicious.
You had too many stuffed
Thank you.
mushrooms. I mixed up some of the mushrooms and might have accidentally put some psychedelic ones in there with the regular ones. And
What?
Well, send me some of those. I can
Brianna, or I'm
show you
sorry,
how to make those.
Niev has just been telling us all about her upside down school that she went to, where being the bookworm made you the cool kid in school.
I never said that he was a bookworm. He just liked to hang out in the library because a lot of people were in the library.
I wouldn't be in the library.
This is not any school I've ever known the cool people to be.
I don't know what to tell you. I guess things are different in Phoenicia.
Clearly. Gulran. Niev was talking about some kind of mistress stepping in for Sascha. Do you know anything about this?
What do you want to know about that?
Lots. Are you familiar?
It's a topic I don't like to go into too much, but it's seemingly true. I wouldn't go around parading that information. It might cause people of Sascha to panic, so...
Were they nice? Were they, I mean, do they offer access to things?
Are you looking to pledge fealty to a deity or something?
I mean, I could be, I don't know, I could find faith.
Zigmars was saying how he enjoys experiences, and that reminded me of the mistress and how that she likes to, her whole thing is people having new experiences.
Oh, you should have said so. You're looking for a new experience. I have a god that has never been experienced before. Let me tell you about Krascaron. What did you just say? I grip my warhammer and look at him. Did you just blaspheme my god?
I asked if this was the Krascaron pitch.
Oh.
Pitch.
I must have misheard you. I squint my eyes at him.
I was gonna say, that needs like a bluff check or something.
Yeah, it does need a bluff check.
I'm gonna go ahead and slide this over towards Ivy because she's looking kind of bored.
What is this?
Yeah, he definitely slipped. He meant to say pitch the first time, but it didn't quite come out so clear.
You'll watch yourself in the
In case you're
future.
interested.
But Krascaron is mighty, and he soon will be the craze that everyone wants to believe in. So if you want to get in early.
I'm not interested in following some kind of... I mean, his name sounds like rocks.
God, no rocks. Please, no rocks. Can we not talk about rocks? Anything but rocks.
What, stalagmites or stalactites?
I like
Okay,
him
I'm taking
stalactite.
this drug.
How would you all like to feel Krascaron's presence? It's a new
Nope, I'm
ability.
taking a
Excuse me?
drug. Passed my
What?
fortitude save. What does this do to me?
It makes you feel euphoric.
Alright, I'm happy now.
You look like you could use a pick-me-up.
I get a bonus to charisma. Let's see how much. Hell yeah. I'm super charismatic tonight.
Yeah, it's only gonna last for an hour though, and then you might become sick.
What
Well,
about
lovely.
the?
Oh well.
Oh, I was gonna say, what about the wisdom damage? When did you-
75%. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, roll me a
Where
d2
would
for that
you-
one as well.
Okay.
I looked
feel
at
good,
the
though.
Wise.
That's what's important. You feel good.
Teus. It's a new ability I learned about how we've gathered more experience. Would you like to experience this?
I guess.
What is this ability?
It will. It's more of a useful in terms of fleeing a foe or negotiation talks, but it'll let you feel the presence of Krozkaran, more importantly.
Sure, go ahead. Let's see what you got.
Everyone, gather around.
We are
outstretch-
gathered around. We're at a table.
Hush. And I outstretch my arm. I like crack my knuckles, and I outstretch my arms, and I don't know if I have to like spell cast supernatural ability, but I do whatever.
Cracks his knuckles like he thinks he's strong.
I cast this divine presence that lasts 8 rounds.
Wow, so you're all safe from being attacked for the next 8 rounds.
Yeah, but RP wise, it's called divine presence. I want them to
Yeah.
feel like the protection of Krozkaran.
No, you can,
kinda.
like, there is a visual image of, like, a series of walls going up around the table. They are somewhat translucent walls that have a bit of a shimmer to them.
I just sit there like poking the wall.
If you poke the wall, your hand will go through, but, like, a hole will open where your hand was.
Oh,
How do you all feel? Do you feel protected?
I'm gonna start poking and drawing pictures by making holes.
Stop that.
Smiley face. And
Are
a
you making
star.
Are you making eyes of Thoth?
No.
Yeah. Wow. This is impressive, Goron.
It's something I can use for us to get through things without making it harder for things to hit us if we need to retreat or something like that. I just thought,
Yeah.
did anyone
That'll
else
come in
get
handy.
anything from our experiences? Any new things they want to share?
Oh, I taught Hunter a new trick. Since we got separated before, and you were telling me how you were having trouble controlling Hunter, then I taught him a trick that will allow him to take orders from any creature I designated. I taught him to take orders from Antaeus for right now, but I can eventually teach him to take orders from all of you.
That's great.
Here, puppy, take these drugs.
I just figured since Antaeus is normally the one that's sort of at a range distance, if he can see what's going on and maybe direct Hunter, if nothing else.
I appreciate that.
Anyone else get anything fancy from their new travels or experiences?
I can go fast or not be hit more.
That's good. I won't have to heal you so much. How about you, Antaeus? Anything fancy that you got?
Nothing too fancy. I became a little more skillful. Discovered a
good.
thing or two.
Any new
My,
fancy bombs you're working on, or just the same old explodey fire ones?
And I mean, I have the fire ones. I also have the Tanglefoot one.
Hmm.
Has come in handy quite a few times, but no, I haven't worked on anything new in that sense recently.
Well, that's good. Zigmars, or what was your name?
That's correct.
Did you get anything new recently, I guess?
I did indeed. I have a new business partner that we talked about last time. We have a new office now. It's pretty great. Operations are booming, And I am also getting a lot of flack from the guard. Yeah, they're a pain in the ass.
What?
They there's been a lot more of the knight's presence around the East Bridge area. They've been, of course, saying it has to do with the growth of the forest, but something's just not right. Between the witches that have been roaming about, and the uptick in knights, but knights not dealing with the witches, I think something else.
Well, I heard they were just doing some minor inconveniences, nothing to be super worried about. Has this changed?
I mean, minor inconveniences still throw people off. It's the kind of thing that's making people contemplate leaving, and as people want to leave, my income goes down. As people have to deal with random witches turning their cat into cheesecake.
What is
my income goes
witches
down.
and dairy? Yeah, I want cheesecake.
No, she said no cat cheesecakes.
Oh, no cat cheesecakes.
It's like a goblin delicacy.
We should check in with Nina Slaw before we leave to make sure this isn't a issue we should be giving us our attention, maybe.
Perhaps.
But regardless, I don't think we can
Though I
deal with it.
believe it's really in the Knights' jurisdiction, isn't it? They're committing
It's too bad
criminal
we don't
acts.
have. It's too bad we don't have a contact within the Knights. Wasn't your friend Elizabeth? Wasn't she one of them?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if she still has the same pull with them as she did, but
I would say most certainly not. She's not in the city anymore.
Yes.
Yeah, in
That's
fact, isn't
true.
that what you're going to do, is go pick her up?
How do you know that?
He looks over at Antaeus.
Something that I may have told him that.
Good one, Antaeus, telling civilians the wrong story so they don't know what we're really up to. I get a glare at Antaeus.
I have a contractual obligation to keep what he tells me within the people that I know I am allowed to discuss it with. That is part of our business arrangement. This wouldn't go any further than him, I, and the rest of you.
Speaking of new information, I did find out some new information about these coins that we got.
Yes.
And?
What coins?
These pretty coins.
Oh, good. She's showing it to him.
He looks at
I
it.
can't get in trouble for it.
Don't ask me where I got it. I'm not telling you.
These aren't. How are these legal?
Why are you even here? Who invited you?
I did.
Oh my god.
I think there's somewhere on there they say that they're legal tender.
I don't see it anywhere, and they're not saying anything to me.
Huh.
Saying anything.
Rumor has it that some crazy wizard once enchanted a bunch of coins from his city to say, "This is legal tender."
Who would do that?
Wizards are so foolish. The arcane is so crude.
Sure.
Good way to stop counterfeiting, I guess.
You wouldn't have that problem if they used divine magics to legalize their tender.
I
That's
think
precisely
there's room
why
for
we do
both
that.
schools of magic.
Well, one's clearly better.
Yeah,
Not really.
arcane.
Nope. Divine.
I could
She's
kick
liter-
your butt with my
She's
magic.
literally the physical embodiment of arcane magic.
Yeah, I am the physical damn embodiment of
Just
arcane
look at-
magic.
just
Don't
look at
tell
her
me you're
eyes.
better.
Wait.
Yeah, are my
Exactly.
eyes still glowy?
Yeah, your eyes are still glowy.
Has Zigmar commented on that?
Zigmar
I
has
don't-
commented on it several times. In fact, he really likes it.
I am so in tune with Graskron, you probably couldn't even lay a finger on me, Ivy.
Okay, look, if you two want to spar, we're going in the backyard because I have a very nice home and I don't want it broken.
Nah, I don't wanna knock Goron out even worse than Mr. Fuck You did.
That was different. and I couldn't utilize my spells the way I wanted to. But it's neither near nor there. It's all right. You don't have to admit that my power is greater than yours. It's okay. We all know the answer to that.
Okay, bro.
So
I'm not one for lying to people. So
there are a bunch of people like leaving the city. I'm sort of redirecting the conversation.
Not bunches yet, but in here and there, people are leaving, creating minor
there you go.
inconveniences.
Isn't this a big deal? I thought people usually weren't supposed to be leaving cities.
Well, the thing is, when you got nowhere else to go, you go. Or when you got nowhere to be, you gotta go somewhere.
Speaking of, I went and spoke to Nico recently, earlier today, in fact. Oh, one of the people that we, Gulran had worked with on our first case together.
Oh, okay.
Oh. How's he doing?
He seems to be doing as well as he can be. His daughter seems to be, I don't want to say evolving, but her abilities seem to be manifesting themselves more, and it seems as if something is attached itself to her. It claims to be her mother, but I don't know how accurate that is. They're leaving the city soon, though.
Oh, they're leaving too?
The witches are causing problems, or presumably causing problems for his daughter, and the city has deemed his daughter a threat. So they're heading out soon.
How can a little girl be a threat?
Well, it's very weird. It seems that potentially something didn't want to die and latched onto her in some way, and her shadow became larger.
When you say the city, you mean the ministry, or who designated this?
I believe it was the knights. I'll look at Zigmar's when I say that. I don't know if
I'm
that's...
not exactly sure who's got... I mean, the knights have been taking a lot of the action. They've been putting a lot of pressure on him as of late. He's been paying them to stand down and not get aggressive, but it's only been... It's been worse each day.
I hope that encouraging him to leave sooner isn't causing problems for you, by the way.
He's not one of my customers, just somebody I was keeping an eye on for you guys.
I appreciate that. I told them to get in contact with you if there are any updates once they leave. So they might be receiving periodically receiving letters from them.
In case I forget, someone remind me. We should bring these things up with Slav before we leave. Maybe he'll have some updates when we get back, and we can deal with these things when we return from our journey.
Yes, the witches are becoming increasingly problematic, it seems.
Yeah, someone remind me to bring this up with Ninoslav before we leave.
Sounds good.
Well, this is interesting conversation.
I will go bring out dessert, which is going to be strawberry shortcake.
I can tell Ivy's like high, right? Or whatever. She's like euphoric or whatever.
I mean, yeah, she's not like entirely here. She took something beforehand to get there.
Is there alcohol here? Did Niev supply some, or do we have to bring it? Or is there any?
No, Zigmar's brought wine and whiskey.
All right, I'll look at Zigmar and say, "You mind if I have some of that whiskey?"
Help yourself.
Sure, I'll like down some, and then I'll look at Ivy and say, "You want to go a few rounds outside?"
Okay.
Zigmar's leans in. I thought that's a question I'm supposed to ask you later.
I mean, you can ask later too. That's fine.
No, me first. I got it right.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of sloppy seconds, but I
What?
suppose if she's down.
What do you? That's a weird term for sparring
Just
with her
use
after I'm done.
protection. Just make sure you use
Of course,
protection.
I'm not gonna fight her without my armor. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's only a fair fight if I use protection. What are you? We each will use our protection. What are you getting at, Niev?
Don't be silly, wrap your willy.
What are you talking about? Yeah. We're sparring. What's
You
that?
want to go a few rounds with Ivy, right?
Sparring! Sparring!
Oh!
You... Yeah, jeez. Now you Rihanna for a second.
are are we how, how how all out are we going in this sparring match?
Wait, what are you saying?
Are you using all your magic and shit? Should I use like my magic and shit? What are we doing? Are we just beating each other with our fists? Are we using weapons? What's happening?
I put 10 platinum on the table. I'll bet you 10 platinum you can't hit me.
Sure, I'll take that bet.
But you have to let me go initiate the fight.
You're gonna use your little bitch ass magic and do something stupid, but sure, I guess. Whatever, you can initiate the fight.
Alright, we'll go how many rounds? I'll look to Niev and Teus. How many rounds should we let her try and hit me for?
10.
Oh my god.
10? Alright. 10 it is.
Oh, you're going through with this.
It's just a friendly wager. Testing out our new abilities with each other.
All right. So
I'll take another shot of whiskey before I...
Yeah. The four of you can make your way in out to the yard. Antaeus, you're at least feeling pretty good. Yeah. And what are the stipulations here?
I think anything goes. I said let me go first, so she's got to let me like win initiative or delay her turn until I go, I guess.
Everyone's on something but me.
Wait, so first round, because you get to go first. If I beat you in initiative, can I do something that doesn't involve directly trying to attack you?
No, the rules are I go first.
Okay, just asking. Jeez. All right.
And I have my new weapon with me at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. All right. Yeah, if I can go first, I'll start. Or do you want us to roll initiative just to go through it, or?
No, go ahead. If you're gonna go first, you can go first.
All right. I grip my warhammer and I use a free action to transfer its enchantment bonus to my AC, so I get a +2 with that. And as a standard action, I will cast Sanctuary on myself, which will last. I'm not going to be cheap and recast it, so I'll just say that that's going to last 8 rounds. So 8 rounds of Sanctuary and 2 rounds without, basically.
Hang on a sec. I want to check something real quick. I can't find it. You're lucky.
What were you looking for?
Sigmar's actually has something for this, but I don't think I.
What the fuck? And that wasn't part of the deal. She can't get out.
You said anything goes.
Between us.
You did not stipulate between us. You said anything goes.
It's fine. I can't find it anyway.
Damn.
So I never put together his sheet fully.
Wait. You just said hit you, correct?
Yeah, you can try my touch AC if you want.
All right. Well, all right. My round first. I know his usual tactics because I combat with you all the time. So I'm casting that and using Spirit to get a +6 to my will save.
Fancy.
And while you're doing that, Zigmars will advise you to aim low. His shield, the way he's holding his shield, he can't get as low as effectively. So you have a +2 to your attack.
Oh.
Well, I also
He's
have
just
some-
offering some helpful words. That's all. What
Yeah,
can words do?
If you go for my touch AC, this is cheap. If you're getting all these bonuses, you should try to hit my actual AC.
I mean, I'm not going for your touch AC. Well, okay. So there's something I want to do. And
Well,
then
that was your turn.
obviously-
Is it my turn right now?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
I go full defense.
All right. So no matter what I want to do, I have to make a will save, correct?
Yes, you have to
It
beat the will
involves
save for
hitting him.
Sanctuary.
So 17. So I don't have this. I didn't put the +6 in, but I have a
Just roll
+6
it
to
in.
this.
No, you lost the lottery there, Ghoulron.
And I hit him. You didn't say with what. But no, we can keep going how you actually wanted to try. This is just the cheap shit I wanted to pull first, but I'm joking, but we can actually...
No, this should happen. I want Ghoulron to be pissed that she's breaking
Yeah.
the rules.
I
I'm
didn't
just
break
making
the-
sure I don't have spell resistance from something. Does it even allow spell resistance? No.
It does allow spell resistance.
I'm just making sure I don't have it from something. I thought I got it from something. I don't see it though. I don't have these gloves of flux anymore. Yeah, I guess that'll hit me.
Yeah, you randomly get blasted by a magic missile.
I just shake my head as it tickles me.
All right, I know what you meant. I'll try to actually hit you with my weapon.
No, it's
Your
my turn right now.
No, I know. I'm
Good.
saying. Well, wasn't saying we're done. I'm just...
I'll cast Channel Vigor and I'll use the limbs, so I'll get haste.
Okay, there's another AC bonus.
Good lord. What is your AC up to, out of curiosity?
None of your business.
Roll and find out. That's what your AC is up to. What his AC is up to.
Okay.
Every turn I'm free actioning. I don't know. It will only last one turn, so every turn I'm free actioning, transferring my weapon to my AC.
Mm-hmm.
But I will go into my blood rage. The first one isn't going to help me, but the second
I want to know what
benefit-
your. I want specifically to know what your two
Okay.
blood rages are, because this matters for another reason.
Okay. I'll probably just do spider climb for shits and giggles because I don't really care about that one. But my second one is gonna be haste.
Okay.
So
Is Ivy a giant?
Ivy is
Spider
not a
climb.
giant. You do not get the +4.
Jesus. Okay, so you didn't tell me how I'm doing all my new attacks here.
So you should just
spell
have a
combat
single.
is clicked on.
Yeah, you should just have a well, you have a single attack button. So if you
I
click
have-
the attack
yeah.
button, it's going to
Well,
ask
there's
you a
full
question.
round attack, then single attack.
Yeah, so do the full round attack if you're making a full round attack.
Oh, attack and spell or attack only.
Yeah, and this will switch on and off your spell combat automatically when you click it.
Okay.
So if you're just making an attack with no spell combat, you just hit the attack button.
Well, I'm technically going to use spell combat.
Okay,
because
then
I
use
get an
attack and
extra
spell.
Full round attack. Oh, okay. I'm assuming that doesn't hit.
AC 30 right now.
Okay, so how do I do all my attacks with this? So do I just click it
So
again?
click the word attack 1 to do your second attack. If your second attack is like your regular second attack, where it says Ivy Phelps / attack 1. Click the word attack 1 in the box with your roll. On the right hand side, right in the chat box, you have
I
the
don't
damage
see
box.
it.
You have a damage and a critical.
Yeah.
And then if you
Yeah.
go up all the way to the top of the box in the center, there's attack 1.
I don't see attack 1. I see the attack and spell.
So
Attack
the
only
first
or full
line,
round
No,
the
attack.
first
in the
line has a
chat,
picture
in
in
the
the chat. The first line has a picture of Ivy,
Oh.
and then thank you.
Gotcha. I see. Okay, so that's my normal attacks.
Yep.
And then, if I'm hasting, do I just hit full round attack again, or
You'll just hit the full round attack button again, and then
Okay,
hit attack
sorry,
and
I
spell
just-
because you're casting a spell around.
Oh yeah, these are terrible rolls right now. Okay, so that's
What's your spell?
well, it doesn't matter because it never goes off. But
Well, no, you would
probably-
still click the spell first if you're casting a spell first that you were going to have happen on the attack.
So where does it want me to do my spell?
You just click the spell, just whatever spell you're casting.
Sure.
It doesn't prompt you. Between the decision of attack and spell is really where you'd want to choose when you're going to cast the spell, either before the
Okay,
spell
I did
or
this
after
as
the
a
spell.
tutorial for Ivy to use her new stuff.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll just be doing
Okay.
that.
So yeah, because that turns it on your weapon.
Oh, okay. All right.
So from this point, if it's my turn now, I'm just total defensing and using move action to use my Boots of the Earth to heal myself for that stupid damage.
Okay.
every turn.
All right,
Okay.
Ivy, try it again.
34 AC, try to hit me.
Jesus, I don't even think I can unless I crit.
One of the things you
Yeah,
should
so-
notice is if you click the single attack button, that
Yeah.
functions if you're hasting. So you can click single attack, and it's an attack at your full base attack bonus, modified
Okay.
by whether or not you've used spell combat for the round.
That. So did I do that right? Basically.
Are
right
you
for
you're
hasting?
casting a, Are you casting a spell this round?
Oh, I guess.
Okay, so
well,
these
I
are all
still have
plus
the
2.
Spell.
But
I still have the spell held, basically,
Yeah.
because it never got released. So.
but yeah, none of those will
Yeah.
hit.
I think you got, I don't know how many more rounds left to try and hit me. But
That was
basically-
round 4.
So 6 more rounds.
Oh my god.
If she beats my Sanctuary once, she doesn't have to save against it every time.
No, once you beat Sanctuary, you beat Sanctuary.
Okay.
Really terrible rolls. That's round 5.
Yep. Statistically, you should end up hitting him.
If it's anything like mirror shot combat,
Round
then
6.
no.
Stop trying to hit me and hit me!
That was round 7. Oh my god.
This is good. This is a good workout for your brain on the new attack
Round
macro.
8.
Ooh, nice.
That was round.
Hold on. That you said your AC is 30, right? Cool run.
34
Oh, okay.
with total defense.
So this is round 9 now.
Ooh, there you go.
Nope, that's not it because that's not a 20. That's an 18.
Oh, thought it was a nat 20.
Nope, that's an 18.
It only. Wait, what?
Auto hits are nat 20s. You crit
Only?
on that,
Only-
but not
yes.
a nat hit. Natural.
Really?
I actually
Yes.
looked this up today. Yeah.
An,
That's-
an 18 just means that you nearly that you hit a good place if you happen to hit.
Lame. No, what's the point of having that high of a critical threat rate?
So-
So
crit.
because you can still deal double damage.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, times 2 damage is pretty good in most games.
Okay, here's the last round. I think it's gonna happen. No.
Wow, no natural 20.
Yeah.
Ha
3 attacks are. I still technically won because I still hit you, just not the way you wanted me to hit you.
Come on, you knew the spirit of what was going on.
Hey, you said anything goes. I hit you.
I
with
thought
a
you had
missile.
some honor amongst you, Ivy. I think I had to stipulate every little
Who do
thing.
you think I am, a Krozkaron worshiper?
You should be. Look what Krozkaron can do for you. But that was good. You overcame the challenge. I accept your win. You won. I didn't stipulate you couldn't. I'll hand her over the 10 platinum.
Hell yeah.
It's funny you talk about honor when you needed like about 20 seconds to get yourself set up and ready to be able to start doing
I
something.
only need myself 12 seconds to get ready. And that's not that long, Sigmar.
Felt like an eternity.
It was a good warm-up. We practiced. I just wanted to show off my new abilities for everyone. And Ivy, you got to learn your new Well, look how fast you could attack in such a short time. Every 6 seconds, it seemed like you got off extra attacks that I haven't seen before. Good stuff. Good workout.
All right, who wants more cake?
Yes, let's get some more cake.
Actually, with haste on, should I have had 4 attacks each round? Because I would
No,
have...
you get 1 additional attack at your fullest base attack bonus. Unless you're casting a spell each round that gives you the extra touch attack from the spell. You get 3 attacks per round.
Yeah, so I'd have to cast a spell each round. I guess
Correct.
I could have technically done that, but whatever. Not a big deal. Just trying to get used to how I'm doing, how many flippin' attacks I have now.
Actually, that reminds me.
Yes, go ahead and do this.
Oh, Ivy, do you have that thing that we found in the desert? The thing I asked you to carry?
Oh, the plant?
Yes, I forgot to
Yeah?
get that from you.
Can you please take this? It's encumbering me. I'm tired of carrying this shit around.
Oh, sure.
Can't take this stupid 30 pounds of, literally it is called stupid agave plant on my character sheet. Because I was mad that it encumbered me.
Whoa. Shouldn't we have disclosed bringing in foreign plants into Knightsbridge?
I don't know. I'm not the
really?
law person. I just carried it. Apparently I'm the mule bitch or
I
something.
won't do anything with that until we talk to Ninoslav about that.
Don't worry, I'll make sure to.
Nieb
keep
is
it
helping you
somewhere
be
safe.
able to carry it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good now. He's got the plant. I don't know if he can carry 30 pounds of an agave plant.
I just
I
literally
can.
cast Ant Hall on him.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm
I
at
didn't know
5 below my max load, thank you.
Look,
Ant Hall
I
for
need to
you
be able
doesn't
to
feel
move
as
into combat.
Ant Hall for you isn't as uncomfortable as Tessara casting Ant Hall, though. It's more of a delightful, strong feeling as opposed to your body transforming into chitinous, muscular structure designed to help you lift things more efficiently.
Oh,
Why?
that sounds so gross.
You become
I don't
part
like the-
ant,
Why do I become part ant?
so you can lift things.
But why does he not become part ant?
Because this is regular magic. You're drinking alchemical concoctions.
Oh, yeah.
The magic is
okay.
happening
Yeah,
on the inside,
'cause
not on the outside.
Yev casted it, not
Yes.
him. Yeah,
Ah.
I got it.
It would have happened to Antaeus if Antaeus would have drank an Ant Hall.
Look, I'm
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
if I would've made it.
character, so I'm channeling the like 7 int right now, okay? And so I was a little confused.
And the 8 wisdom you have right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me.
You're getting reminded a lot.
I forgot I probably should have rolled a 1d2 earlier. There we go.
And a 1d2 for the wisdom damage.
Because you get plus
Yeah, that was-
charisma and minus.
Oh, I didn't even
Yeah,
add that.
that's your charisma bonus. Now I want the wisdom damage. You do it in the order the spell says, or the thing says.
That's fair.
Yeah, got him for max.
I didn't even realize that was what was going on. I
speaking
totally forgot about the
of-
charisma bonus.
Speaking of these things, though, the hour is up.
And I'm sickened.
You are not sickened. You are very
Wow. Oh, I got the
You have a really good-
25% chance. Damn.
Yeah, you've got a good con. I don't know if that
But it
matters.
is, it's
No,
not
it's
based
just
on
a
your con.
percentage
It's
chance.
just, yeah, it's just a
Hmm.
75% chance you become sickened, so I got lucky.
Hopefully I'll get lucky
Was-
too.
A great evening.
No,
You-
we have more to do before you go to bed.
What?
But I need a break to go put kids to bed.
All right, well then let's take a short break. Somehow Ivy's become the DM, so I guess
Yeah, what the
I guess we'll be right back.
Pop up.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say that goes along with the pop-up book of phobias for awesome product ideas.
All right. So, Ivy, I think you specifically said you had more stuff you wanted to do.
Well, now that we're done eating and done with this stupid little contest, whatever.
Oh, you like I actually I deducted 10 platinum off my sheet. You took it, right?
I did.
Okay.
I have decided that, I want to look at this note again and let whatever happens happens.
What?
At least this time we're not right next to the sarcophagus, so...
True.
Yeah.
Are you telling us this, or are you just reading it?
No,
Oh.
I'm in character telling you guys I want to look at it again and let whatever has happened going to happen. Like, if I feel like something is trying to take over my mind, I will voluntarily let it.
Well, do you want us to, what are the parameters for us to help you?
I mean, don't let me harm anyone? I don't know. It might be a science experiment. We might have to do this multiple times or something and see what happens. I honestly don't really know what's going to happen, but the Sphinx seems to think that it's some sort of potential trance and something to do with the same thing I think she said it was that my great grandfather was doing, or was she saying that my father was doing it?
Grandfather.
That's what I was pretty sure. Same thing my great grandfather or grandfather was doing, and something to do with maybe finding things. Whatever it is, I think it's important.
Sure.
Um,
I wasn't really myself when this happened to you last time. What exactly happened?
Well, I looked at the note, and it was the first time I had looked at it since gaining this, arcano vision that I have now. And something kind of took over my mind, and I wasn't really myself. I didn't really remember anything I did or said, which is why it's obviously important to have people around to tell me what I do or say. And I guess, went over to the tomb and kept saying I need to wake him up. He's just sleeping. But right when I got to the tomb, I kind of shook out of it.
All right. I don't know what kind of magics you have, but if you lose your mind and decide to sprint away or something, should we tie a rope around you and so we can keep you here?
Well, I mean, do you
If
want
you make your
to hold on to
limbs-
your weapon?
Yeah. Well, should we hold on to your weapon? Why do you need your weapon to read the note, right?
I mean, I don't know if I need my weapon since it kind of has my parents in it. I don't know.
That's what I wasn't sure about either.
All right. Well, it doesn't hurt to make you have this rope around your waist, and we'll just give you some slack and hold it just so you don't run off, and we have a chance to keep you here.
That's fine, I guess.
Well, I always have a plan to see if she runs off. That's something I could do.
Like what?
Well, it'll stop her for a moment, but I don't know how long it'll actually stop her.
All right. Well, maybe I can
She'll have
give you
to
a chance
gather
to
herself again, I guess.
Maybe I'll give you a chance to do that if I can hold on to it for a little bit with this rope, just in case. It doesn't hurt to.
Hopefully, it doesn't come to that.
Yes. I take out my 25 feet of rope and just tie like a 5-foot section around her waist, or however. That's probably huge, but whatever I need to tie it around her waist, and then I just give it some slack and just hold it and just look at her, wait for something to happen.
Yeah. Anything else anyone wants to do before I pull this note out?
I'll look at Antaeus. Is there anything you can give her that might help in any way?
I could give her some things, but I don't know if they would be helpful or more harmful. I could give her something that might protect her against this if it's a mind affecting thing, but I don't know if that's necessarily the outcome.
The plan
that we
is
want.
not to interfere.
Yeah, and if I gave her other things, it might enhance it, but I don't know how good that would be for her.
Let's just see how this goes once without anything, and it's not like I can't maybe, who knows, try again in the future if then we think enhancing some aspect of it would be beneficial.
I would agree.
I pop open that new coin thing you gave me, and I switch my domain spell from Zone of Truth to Bull Strength.
Okay.
And I'm going to give myself Bull Strength.
Okay.
She reads a note.
But yeah, if no one else wants to do anything, then I will pull the note out and look at it again. And if I can feel something trying to kind of take over my mind, I'll try to voluntarily sort of let it.
Alright, hang on.
If I can.
You look at the note, and for a moment, your mind begins to subside, shrink back down into the back reaches your head. You are not Ivy anymore. Your eyes scan the area. You can see what you see. You look down at the note. The note begins to... The letters begin to kind of swirl on each other, slowly pooling down and away into the center of the note. And you can feel a sensation, a pull. It's where it's supposed to be, Ivy. It's where it's supposed to be. You must find them. You must find all of them. We must find all of them. We will find all of them. You shouldn't have let your friends stop you. We were going to take the right first step. But don't you worry, Ivy. Don't you worry. When the time comes, you'll take the right next step. Megiddo is where you need to get to next. It's fortunate that you're already on your way there. As it looks at the paper, you notice like there's like a city that kind of grows out of the paper, and your hand kind of moves the paper to be more flat, and you can see like it kind of swirl around the city very slowly. And then your hand moves in and you kind of reach out and pick up a building, and you look at, and you're like able to inspect the building very carefully. In here is where you need to go. Tallest building in all of Megiddo. Very easy place to find. Within there is a source trapped that you must recover. That you need to recover. A gem. A gem that encases one of the most powerful aspects of our lineage. Rescue it, Ivy. If you can find it and the other pieces, we can find peace. If you can't, the curse will take you too. Good luck, Ivy. I didn't know you well, but I loved you just the same. The vision subsides.
Kind of look around. Did I do anything?
She like moved. She like held the paper like this and randomly like reached over and plucked something like above the paper. There's like nothing that she actually pulled off, but she was like, and then she like looked at her fingers for a little bit.
You were doing this like you were picking something off the paper and looking at something, but
Okay. So I think everything that happened this time I actually remember and saw. I had a vision of sorts. I think do I know, was that like, can I assume that was probably like my grandfather kind of talking to me, or?
You can make any assumption that you want. here.
I don't. I mean,
But
obviously,
you don't have any certainty because you never really met your grandfather. Your grandfather, supposedly died before you were really of any age to be aware.
I think that would be my assumption because I feel like my parents probably wouldn't have said they didn't know me. Well, I guess, I don't know. Anyways, someone from my family, maybe my grandfather, I'm not really sure, communicated with me. I think I know the next step to getting rid of the curse on my family.
Well, is it something we can help with?
I have to retrieve a gem from the tallest building in Megiddo.
Megiddo again.
Yeah. Seems like everything is centered around this town lately.
Perhaps it knew you were going there?
It seemed like it did know I was going there. It said it was good that I would be heading there soon, so however or whoever this was communicating with me somehow knew our intentions of going there soon.
Maybe the note somehow can hear whatever is going on around you?
I'm not sure, but I think I'm going to keep it with me. It might be useful to... I don't know.
What happens if you can't get this gem?
If I can't get it, then I assume I can't break the curse on my family, and I will fall victim to whatever the curse has done to everyone else, which seems like some sort of madness eventually.
Well,
I'm wondering if maybe that's why I had... Sphinx made it seem like maybe I had a good reason for putting my parents in my sword. Maybe they went mad and I had to do this to keep them safe or something until I can break the curse.
it's possible.
But looks like I need to get a gem from Megiddo, and I doubt I'll be getting it in a legal fashion.
Well, I'll help you in any way I can.
I'm sure we can discuss how we can obtain this gem in the proper manner.
And if there is no proper way to maintain or to retrieve it?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I just want to know whether you're willing to do whatever it takes to help me, Goron.
I thought that you didn't frown too much on, like, breaking into other people's houses and stuff, Goron.
Where did you hear that? You weren't around for that.
You know, rumors spread. Pretty sure someone I'm rather close to caught you.
That was...
Or his cronies.
That was in my early career, where I've learned that the means don't justify the ends in all cases. We must look to the proper ways to do things, and if it be life or death and we have no other choice, then of course I will help you with this, but I'm sure there's a way we can properly do this. We just need to find it.
Yeah, some reason I have this sinking feeling there's not going to be a proper way to get it. But maybe, if we're lucky.
Maybe it has something to do with those drow that I have to that I need to meet out there. But
I'm sorry,
probably
what?
not.
Drow?
You're meeting with drow?
No, you're not meeting with the drow out there. The drow are in the below. You're not going down to see drow.
Well, in Megiddo, right?
No, you're not meeting any drow in Megiddo. He's saying you're meeting with other people. The drow are something completely separate to get the third thing that you would need.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of. Yeah, like
Okay.
that's the thing that's like less likely to happen. The far harder.
That is the
thing to get.
almost impossible thing to happen unless you guys detour the whole plot towards going towards the Drow.
Towards trying to barter with the Durgar and
Yes.
gain some favor,
Yeah.
doing stuff like that are far beyond my means.
Yeah.
Got it. Oh well, maybe I misspoke. There are some Drow allegedly in Megiddo that, if I have the opportunity and the means, they might have something very valuable or important that I could use.
I
But
wouldn't
that's
trust Drow. Drow are very bad.
you
Yeah,
know
we
of
haven't
Drow?
heard anything. Yeah, didn't we get a lowdown of them and from Borholm? They said the Drow are nefarious
That's true.
creatures,
Yes.
and they were worried about impending war with them. You really want to deal with these creatures?
Well, that's more of a tertiary goal, I suppose. There are other things that I need to get in Megiddo, and hopefully it's somewhere in the same area so we can get in and out of there, because it doesn't sound like they're going to allow us to stay there very long. But yes, if you do come across any Drow, please feel free to let me know.
Also, in the future, if I go into one of these trances and start trying to do something like, I don't know, wake up my grandfather, maybe just let me do it.
Oh, I'm sure that's a horrible idea. What about
I
that?
I thought
sounds
you
like
just
a-
said you were supposed to keep your grandfather in stasis until you.
I said my parents are in my weapon. That's not the same.
Oh.
Yes, they're.
Whatever voice I
bound together?
communicated with told me I shouldn't have let you guys stop me, and it was the first step I needed to take. So, I think if I read this note and I go into a trance and start trying to do
You're
something,
putting a lot of faith in all this. Who is this voice, and what's telling you to do this stuff?
They tell you why? Did they give you any additional information?
to break this curse on my family. That's
Yes, the ominous curse that they didn't tell you anything about, or why it's on your family, or anything of that nature, right? You had to find out from the Sphinx, correct?
Yeah, well, who else am I supposed to find out from when my parents are in my sword, apparently? There's no other living line of my family exists, and I have lost my memories from an age on. How else am I supposed to get any information? This is the first literal any sort of contact from, other than the Sphinx, anyone who knows anything about what's going on with my family.
Well, I think that if their motives were altruistic, they would probably give you the reasoning behind it or something, or offer any kind of additional information other than being vague and ominous, as opposed to being like, you need to break this curse. But
Well,
I might be wrong.
I know the curse makes my family go mad, apparently, and I might have imprisoned my parents and my weapon for doing so,
That's a fair
I
point.
know the curse does wonky ass shit to us. It's probably something I should try to break if I can.
I'm just concerned about the ramifications of doing so. Outside of the obvious not going mad, that makes sense, obviously. I'm just concerned if there's any ulterior motives behind this curse being broken.
Perhaps if we find ourselves in that tomb in the future, you can use your future ability and see if it will be okay
Yes,
for her to.
I assume I'm
Yes.
gonna have to go back there at some point. I have a feeling that that is one of the steps that has to be done, and I missed my first opportunity to do it.
Yes, I'm sure that we'll end up back there sooner or later. Sorry.
Oh. Well, this is awkward.
Yes. Yes, it is. Is there any more wine on the table?
There is.
I
Perhaps
am
we should
going
call it
to
a night.
grab that and
I would agree with Goran. Perhaps we should. Ivy, may I walk you home?
Sure. Do you have some of that whiskey still left?
Of course.
I'm gonna use some after this.
It's been fun.
Yes,
Yes, it
thank you for
has.
coming, Zigmars.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, and you can all head out for the evening. Over the next couple of days, is there anything particular that you all want to do?
I want to train Hunter to follow the commands of both Goran and Ivy as well.
Okay.
So that'll be like 2 handle animal checks,
Mhm.
basically. DC 15. So I'm gonna try Goran first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So he'll, and then oh yeah. Okay.
No problem.
So that way, if something happens and I can't give him commands, then anyone in the party can.
You couldn't fail that.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, you literally couldn't fail that.
Oh.
You're plus 14.
14.
All right. Well.
And she could have botched.
Yeah, but
You
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 can't
still
critically
succeed.
skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The only time I make
Sorry
it
about
a
that.
critical failure is when you also technically fail it, is with the botch.
I forgot about that. Whoops.
The only thing I wanted to do before we left was have like a
Yeah, the sit down with
Like-
Ninaslav.
just talk about those few things and that's it.
Yeah, so you can meet with Ninaslav before you guys go.
I'm gonna be reading that journal a little bit. I think it's only like an hour a day or something like that. So before I go to bed and before I use my dream shield on me, I'll be doing that. I'm also going to do a little bit of research into this spark and all the stuff surrounding what I found out about the girl, the spark, and the thing attaching itself to her and that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'll be able to find anything else, but
No, this is like, again, this stuff is all very locked away. And what Ninaslav has informational access to is like stuff that he's learned over time more than any book that he's ever read. So
And,
there's not really anything that will give you any insight there.
yeah, speaking of books, I don't know if those will help me in this situation at all. The ones that I bought.
No, so you'll find that they don't even activate when you go looking for stuff like that. Like, there is no information to be found, and when there's no information to be found, they cannot write anything down.
Okay.
I have this. Oops, I just dropped that. My old breastplate. Would I be able to sell that to anyone for any amount of money?
Is it just plain breastplate? Non-magical?
It's +1.
So you can get 500 gold for it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll get rid of that now since the Sphinx gave me a much nicer one. I don't have any reason to keep that around. And I want to get rid of the weight.
Cool.
Be gone.
That's a good point. In the downtime, I would probably go back to the place with the person from Sulanol and probably like kind of catch up with her for a little bit, and then also study more about this plant as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, we'll unlock some stuff about the plant as time goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll take a while to figure out anything important about it, but I figured, we got some downtime, might as well put in the work.
Yep. All right. Well, let's have this convo with Ninaslav. The four of you head into his office, I guess not really his office, the conference room that he normally meets with the four of you in. When you come in, is everything prepared?
For the most part, we just wanted to talk with you about a few things before we set off for our few-day journey.
Very well.
The first thing that we've been hearing about is these witches. It seems that the knights are being quite inactive and leaving the issue. Is it something we should be concerned about, or?
It will be attended to soon. From what I've heard, the knights are nervous about interacting with them. They don't want to agitate them. So we have some ministry officials that are working, some ministry agents that are working on getting to the bottom of where they're getting their powers from and how we can best deal with it. Coven casting is a very dangerous thing to just blatantly assault. You never know what kind of powers they might be able to reach out and pull. And so we prefer to be very careful when it comes to these kinds of things.
Also, in relation to that, have there been more than a handful of people that have been deemed a threat recently due to the witches per se? Like, I don't know if it's coincidental, but I've heard that that's something that's happened. At least
a number more different and interesting problems have been happening in Eastbridge. Yes, these matters do not concern the four of you, and do not concern me either, in any direct or indirect way. And I am going to ask you, nay, implore, that in this particular case, the four of you keep to your own issues. If these things do not directly pertain to yourselves or people you are intimately involved with in any substantial manner, then please don't put your nose into other business. I don't need someone trying to climb the ladder here, trying to make more problems for our work. I am already in a shitty situation here. We work as an industry that provides the least amount of direct, provable results. People do not see our successes. They cannot understand our successes. Do you think any one of them realizes that we've had success in the forests? That we have success with this beast from Carrefour? No, they don't see it that way. They see our current success is zero. If it weren't for the people at the very top, we would not be continuing this any further. They would send knights to fight this beast, and probably would have lost hundreds of them, unaware of the breath that it can unleash upon them. We do what we do to be ahead of the curve.
Indeed. Well, that's good to know. Speaking about being ahead of the curve, our Inquirious one over here, I'll motion Antaeus, brought back a souvenir. I'm not sure what the regulations are for wild plant life or foreign objects being brought into the city.
From a desert, I'm sure it won't last long.
Well, I just wanted to make sure we were all above board with the rules and all that. I don't know if
it wasn't from east of Husser-Wasser, right?
It's Arcane Agave.
It was
you're
not
familiar.
from the east side.
It should
we
be
never
fine
went
then.
to the east side.
All right.
We came across it and I thought it would be a useful component. I just wanted to, yes.
It's from the area, the wizard teleported us to. We obtained it in that area.
All should be well then. I'll keep my eyes peeled in case anything comes up.
Okay.
You got it locked away well, yes?
Yes.
All of Tinte.
Do you have somebody caring for it?
Zigmar said he was gonna
Yeah.
take care of it, right? Yeah. Yes, I have somebody taking care of it while we'll be gone.
Good.
Out of curiosity, did Minoslav ever say anything about Ivy having wonky eyes when we get back?
No, he's kind of just assuming like you got some sort of magic upgrade or like you have some sort of, because like permanency is a regular thing, so somebody might have like permanency detect magic on them or something like that.
Okay.
Niev being taller and all that sort of thing.
Well, he knew some weird stuff was going on with the whole Brianna Niev thing, so.
I'll look at Antaeus and say, "Oh, Antaeus, if you need some compost for your plant, I have a really good batch."
Do I know if it needs compost?
It does not need compost. It is
I
a.
assume.
It's a desert plant.
Not for that one, but there might be things in the future that I might need that for. So I appreciate that.
Sure.
All right, I think if we're all ready, everyone got some rations and some supplies, and we're ready to go.
Safe travels. The riverways are not as dangerous as the seas, but you should keep your eyes peeled either way.
We got some weird info that like Megiddo may not really be that welcoming.
Oh yeah,
Is
that's
there
that's
anything-
pretty standard for Megiddo. Don't try.
Anything specific we should or shouldn't say in order to?
If you're on your way somewhere, best to get through town. Maybe you can rest there for probably a night. They'll let you stay, but then get a move on.
Okay.
If you're not there to trade, if you're not there for something specific, they don't want you there very long. They're very strong on making sure that trade is done as swiftly as possible and people stick around as shortly as possible.
Okay.
Do I know much about the town of Megiddo as far as like
Knowledge locale or knowledge? No,
like
knowledge,
as far as like buildings and
history.
stuff like that. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, so Megiddo is basically like a really big trade epicenter. They get a lot of stuff from a lot of different places. Based on sort of the location, the only thing they have a lot less access to is a lot of your farmed goods. A lot of those do come out from the east, which is weird because the east is a giant desert. But since what has happened in Emerald Sincerity and like the huge like outcropping of farmland that has grown around it, using magical means, food pretty much only comes from there. There's a few other places that you can journey off to for things like wild animals or tamed animals like your regular meats. But for the most part, a lot of that comes from there. So the further west you get, the more food starts to get expensive and extravagant. Otherwise, though, like a lot of other resources travel through Megiddo in order to get from where they're going to where they need to be. And it just sort of also, like when things were developing, it started off as one of the most central places. Development really started in the west and then slowly kind of expanded towards the east, with the capital not really being founded until like far after the country had sort of explored the ends of the continent.
As far as like the buildings there, would I know the building she was talking about, the tallest building?
So the tallest building is run by a group known as the Archivists. The Archivists pick up little tidbits of historical like mementos or valuables or other things, and they keep them on display sort of like a museum. It's unknown how they acquire most of the things that they acquire. It's really unspoken of. What matters is that they can always prove that they have rightful ownership over it. Even things that like you don't know would not normally have ownership, somehow they're able to prove that nope, this is theirs.
That seems suspicious. But at least we'll know what building to look for that. I'll mention that as soon as we get out of here then.
Mm-hmm.
Also, so you said most of the agriculture comes from the east?
Yes. Mostly from the Emerald Sincerity and the outcropping.
Okay, I guess that's pretty far from all of that stuff. I just wasn't sure if there's any like like magical residue on any of this or agriculture?
Oh, there's a lot of magic that goes into the agriculture. It's the agriculture is like largely is largely like enhanced by druidic magic, some arcana, some divine influences. Almost everything you eat and interact with in some way has some residue of magic on it.
Interesting. I don't know if that would matter as much with my ring of sustenance, but I mean, then again, I'm being, sustained by magic from that anyway. So I don't know if it would feel any different in that sense, as like with the effects of eating a lot of magic. But
no, I mean, for the most part, like the magic is all pre-production, so it's not like the fruit itself is magical, but there's so much magic that goes into making the fruit that it basically absorbs some of the magic in the process.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, and with that, you can head out to there is a little ferry that exists on the river in Knightsbridge. You're going to take the ferry out a little ways to a specific point, and you will be transitioning to a much larger ship. There is a shipyard that is some ways down the river. They do not keep it here in Knightsbridge. There is a secret sort of port that is up further down the river. I guess further up the river. That you'll get on a much faster boat to get yourselves up and down the river. There's one on each side actually. So there's like a security port here and a security port down here. And they are specifically designed to be an interception point for anything that would try to come into Knightsbridge via the river or that needs to pass through. Some have even said actually that the port allows ships to teleport from one end of Knightsbridge to the other without ever passing through Knightsbridge, or does some kind of invisibility thing, or like nobody's really 100% sure how it happens, except sailors, and most sailors don't really travel the riverways. But it will be a long journey. You guys can catch the ferry and head out to the port. When you arrive, there's a rather pretty reasonable, like bigger. I guess none of you really probably seen ships, so to you it's probably a good-sized ship that is ready to set sail along the riverways. The four of you can load up onto it, and with that, we will wrap up for the evening. All of you can go ahead and take 800 XP. No, it's not a lot, but you guys did just level. And I assure you, there's more to come. Take care. Good night.
GG.